morning, everybody, and welcome to Life Chats with Maggie and Bunny. I'm Maggie.
And I'm Bunny.
Well, hello. Good morning, Bunny. Well, today, folks, you might want to fasten your seatbelts. Make sure that you're securely fastened in the chair that you're sitting in, because today, Bunny and I are going to talk about what it's like when the universe hands you your ass on a silver platter and says, Here, take this.
Here, take
What
this.
does
That's so
this
great.
mean to you? What does this mean? So that's kind of what we're going to talk about today because, as usual, when we do these talks, it's about something that happened to us.
Yeah, either us or our clients or what we're seeing in the collective consciousness at the moment. Yeah, for sure.
Well, I sometimes get the feeling most of the time I do a lot of healing because it's about me. And that's what this talk is about, is something that happened to us. Like, and it
hmm
does happen to us. And we're going to share some personal stories about when that happens to you. And so let me just start with that.
Okay.
Well, it kind of comes about when the universe places people in your life to kind of remind you of things that you don't see yourself,
hmm
or you do see yourself, but you kind of turn a blind eye to them. You don't delve into why they happen. But today I had one of those events where a bright light was shone upon it. And the universe said, Here, Maggie, take your ass, see what you can do with it. And yeah, so that's kind of what happened today. I was at the hospital with my husband. He was having some tests done. So while I was there, I was ended up in the waiting area and somebody messaged me. And so I'm chatting back and forth and proceeding to, well, how was your week? How was your week? We're having a conversation. And so she knew that I was there with my husband. And then she also knew that I had a medical procedure done this week as well. And so then we were talking about her, and I had said that I went to this medical procedure by myself, but here I was sitting here at the hospital waiting for my husband. And she was talking to me about her week, and she said, I was really having a rough week, but I didn't reach out. I didn't let you know. And I said, But how can I help you if you don't let me know? And without too much hesitation, she said, But you went to the hospital by yourself.
Yeah.
So I don't think you reach out to people at all very much either. And I went, Oh,
Yeah.
you're right. And she didn't say it in a judging kind of way
hmm
or anything. It was just a matter of fact thing of, oh, so we both don't really ask for help.
Right.
And I thought, as she was saying it, that light is shining, shining, shining. And I see my ass on the plate.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are you going to do with this, Maggie? And I thought about it. And after I even finished talking with her, I thought about it. And I thought, well, why is that? Why do we do that?
hmm
And I had said to her, I can't help you if I don't know you're hurting.
hmm
I can't help you if I don't know you need something. And especially with what I do with clients, I have to know they need something.
Right.
And, but it kind of shone back at me. Like, I went to this procedure by myself. Why?
Yeah.
I have lots of friends who would have gone with me.
A lot of friends.
That
Easily past me. Yeah.
realization was shown to me yesterday. It was my birthday.
Yeah.
I turned 65 and I had
Yeah.
over a hundred people wish me happy birthday.
Right.
So, you know, I have lots of people that I could have reached out and said, I have to go to this procedure and my husband can't go. Could you go
hmm
with me?
hmm
But I didn't. Why didn't I?
Yeah. Well, and actually we even talked about it about a month ago when we went out, and you had already kind of determined there, and we do have a friend who even then asked you about, well, why do you have
Yeah.
to go by yourself? Because even she knew that even if she couldn't go or if I couldn't go, that you had a lot of other
Yeah.
friends that would have went there for your support as well.
And I do tend to do that to myself. And
hmm
as it turned out, it would have been really good to have somebody there because the freezing that I had when the procedure was over, I couldn't feel my arms, and here I
Oh
was
no.
driving home, not feeling half my body.
Oh geez.
So it might have been a good idea. And at any time, it's sometimes good to have moral support.
Mm-hmm.
It's even though it was nothing serious, I've got the
Mm-hmm.
scarf on because I just had some molds removed that I wanted
Right.
gone. So it was nothing serious. It was nothing that I needed anybody there to support me. But sometimes we do need other people there to
Right.
support us.
Yeah.
And in looking at that and wondering why is it that, and I can only answer for myself, I can't answer for the rest of the audience listening to us.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it that we tend to have this stiff upper lip? I can do things by myself. Is it a belief system from our childhood? Is it from being let down by other people?
Mm.
So we put on this tough coat of, I don't need anybody. What is it?
Well, I mean, healing belief wise in that, it's yes to both of those things that you said. Is that at some point before we're 8 years old, when our eye teeth come in, there was some sort of your needs weren't met by some caretaker, right? We don't know who, but somebody, it could be, a parent, it could be an older sibling, it could be an aunt and uncle, a teacher, it could be a bunch of things because
Mm-hmm.
it's before that age, we're like we take everything personally. And like we're a sponge because we're trying to learn how to navigate and that's where we're building our beliefs of what it is to be a human in this world. And so the people who we look up to are the people who we think don't have it all figured out. And as adults, I can tell you, we all know we don't got it all figured out, right? Like we're just fumbling through life. A lot of us are fumbling through life, doing the best we can,
Yeah,
at every
all of
moment.
us
Yeah, all of us are doing it. Well, I mean, there might be that very small percentage of people, like
who
we
have
can
their
see.
shit together and
Yeah,
got it all
yeah,
right.
like Jesus, Muhammad, like like all the the very small portion of people.
Maybe not
Um,
those people that are walking around here with us.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Like us normies, us people who are like, not quite up in that kind of space and not like that it's better or worse or whatever. Just it's a different path, right? So it's a different space, a different like grade level if you would call it that. That maybe they have it a little bit more together. But for the most of us, we're all like yeah, we're
Mm-hmm.
fumbling through and we're doing the best we can. And sometimes that when we pass that down generation to generation or down to the young people that like I said, teachers or anything, whoever has influence, it's not like there is probably a time where a need that you required was not met and you learned that you couldn't rely on other people to get that need met. And then you
Mm-hmm.
would have seen it repeated after you were 8 years old because this is the kind of like the glorious thing about the universe is that it is a reflection of our beliefs. And um it's like that like some people would say Bashar for sure is that if you're looking into a mirror and you're seeing a frowning face and you're saying, why aren't you smiling? It's because you have to smile first. So, like, the
Yeah.
beliefs that you hold within you, which tend to, like, something like saying, like, I can't rely on people or nobody will be there for me. I have to do this by myself. That's not actually true, right? And
No.
even you know that. That's not actually a true belief. So, the universe will present you with opportunities to correct or realign that belief
Mm-hmm.
and you can choose to take it or not, right? That's our free will. This is where it is. And then so we will see it. We tend to see it more in other people because as you said, it's not something we see in ourselves. That's shadow work. That's when people talk about shadow work and
Yeah.
spirituality. It's precisely what it is. It's the things that we don't see in ourselves, but we easily can see the pattern in something else, in somebody else. And you know why? I know this. I've got my ass handed to me so many times giving advice to somebody and saying, this is what you need to do, and then kind of hearing my like inner voice, my higher self going, are you listening? Like,
Are you
like,
sure?
like you're saying exactly the thing you need,
Yeah.
right? That to the other person. And it's like, yeah, yeah, I get it. Like, and it's precisely because it's a lot easier to see the things in someone else that we have in ourselves, either that we've experienced already or that we are currently working on. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
a lot easier to see that and to be able to go like, "Oh, you know what you have to do? You just have to do this and then you'll be happy." And it's like we know already, you and I both know that we can't change another person. Like we can't, all we can do is show them the things, the tools or whatever, and present that to them and live our life and do our healing for ourselves and kind of show them the life that we
Mhm.
lead. So is there time that you have where your ass was handed to you, but like you you worked on it, you turned it around, you made it your medicine?
Yeah, I believe so. Many
Yeah.
times. Yeah,
Yeah.
many times. And it happens to me a lot too because as I coach people and help people in situations, the same thing, like you said, and they'll be saying, well, what should you do here? Or what should I do? Or what do you think of this? And I'll just be hearing, I believe, from spirit. And then I'm
Hmm.
going, yeah. And I mean, one example for me too is I tell people all the time, you have to fact check your monkey mind
Mm.
because monkey mind lies to you.
Hmm.
And I am profoundly grateful to the person today who reminded me of this
Right.
because had this not happened, maybe next week, maybe next month,
Hmm.
maybe 3 months from now, my monkey mind would have reminded me of, oh, remember when you went to the hospital? And it would have said to me, probably, you had to go by yourself
Right.
because you don't have anybody to be with
Right.
you. And I completely know that is false.
Right.
Now, in
Yes.
this right
Right.
mind that I'm in this place that I am in right now, I 100%, and at no point in this past week was I thinking even that I
Hmm.
had to go by myself. It was just the natural response of Maggie to
Hmm.
I do it by myself. But I think it's really good that this shadow came up because now I can work on that.
Right.
So 3 months from now, my monkey mind can't come back to me and say, nobody loves you because you had to go to the hospital by yourself.
Right, right. Absolutely. And that can happen. And that's the whole thing. Like you said, it can be a trigger. It can be something that, in some of like we have energetic ebbs and flows, ups and downs. Like we're like sitting on the ocean on the wave, and you're like going up
Mm-hmm.
and down. And so there are going to be some times we're human, we're going to feel those human emotions that
Yeah.
are, the lower frequencies. And again, no judgment on them, but it is stuff that maybe doesn't feel so great in our body, right? Which we don't prefer. So we're like, hey, we I'd really like to like feel a little better, but like I'm feeling kind of down right now. And yeah, we can definitely have those moments where we
Yeah.
say those
And
things.
especially when people are feeling unwell, if you're
Hmm.
unwell for something that can happen to you, if
Yep.
you're grieving that can happen
Yep.
to you, if you have a traumatic trigger or something traumatic happens in your life, those are all times when you're feeling less than strong.
Right.
And that's the times that your monkey mind starts to replay bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because a lot of the time, like, and I will say for me, my monkey mind never tells me what a fabulous person I am
Mm,
and all the things that I do right and all the correct choices that I make in my life.
right.
Never does my monkey mind say that to me. And
Hmm.
that's why I encourage people to keep a journal of those things that you do awesome,
Yeah.
that you're great at, that you've done well, that
Right.
you made correct choices in, and all of that kind of stuff. So that when your monkey mind lies to you and says, mm, no, no,
Yeah.
you're useless, you're garbage, you're this, you're this, you're this, you can look back at it and say, I don't think you're telling the truth
Right.
because monkey mind does lie.
Yeah.
It's a pro at it.
Well, yeah, and I mean, so when you're saying monkey mind to me, I understand monkey mind. It will also be sort of what people call the egoic mind as well, like the
Mm-hmm.
ego, which as I was discussing with somebody today, the ego's job 100% is to keep us alive. That is
Mm-hmm.
all the egos, and even John Shearer talked about this, it's about looking for that saber-toothed tiger, right? So that ego is looking constantly for the dangers, constantly
Yep.
for the way that we're going to be hurt. Now, emotional hurt isn't likely not going to kill us, right? So, but because we
Well, I
don't,
don't know. I
yeah,
think it. I think if you have enough emotional hurt, it
well,
can.
well, yeah, but I mean, in the immediate now moment, like the
Mm-hmm.
if somebody called you a name, or said like, or if you yourself had a thought that was it in that now moment may not be the like the actual thing that does it, but the what I'm saying is the ego mind of like the lies, like that the monkey mind part, that's where we get into the where the hurt can be. But a physical danger of like somebody coming at you and attacking you in a
Yeah.
physical way, which is what the ego's there to protect, that saber-toothed tiger running away or whatever. Those kind of things. We don't have time to think. We need to react in that moment to save ourselves. We don't, thankfully, we don't come across those very many times in our life. I have like in my adult life never been in a fight. like never had
I've
a
never been chased by a saber-tooth
yeah,
tiger.
or well, I mean, so I haven't had the my ego hasn't had the opportunity to have to do that to me, but emotionally, I can tell you there has been so much time. And the big thing is the two things, like they say, is that the ego uses past evidence for the current and future situations, right? Like
Hmm.
it's evidence based, where our soul, our higher self, is faith based, is trust based. It
Hmm.
knows, it's knowing. It doesn't need this evidence from the past, which that's if you listen to my last episode about the past doesn't actually exist. It's what we bring forward, and that's the whole point. We bring forward, the ego brings forward, like you said, it's only going to bring forward those things to give evidence to what that current thought is.
Right.
And it will continue to do that. You have to stop it and go, hey, wait a second. I have other evidence. I don't need to look in just that file. I can look in all these other files where, and even you have even taught me this too, where when you have a situation that your monkey mind is bringing up, you could be looking at it incorrectly. Your perception of that, like you said, even with this is where it's handing it to you on, handing your ass to you on the platter, is because your perception was you had to be there alone. So your ego will say, "Oh, she had you. You can only count on yourself. No one else," even though that's not actually the truth,
Right.
right? So your ego mind, your monkey mind was saying, this is, I'm looking at this from this perspective. And so that's what we've done, a lot of belief work healing, a lot
Hmm.
of perspective healing, a lot of mindfulness healing, and all of that. And that's what brings us here today. And that's why I'm glad when we do these things and we share helpful hints to people of things that they can do, like the gratitude journal you were saying, of the
Yeah.
things you've done well. You do have to make sure that when you're in that monkey mind that you do go, stop, wait a second, let me go read that journal so
Yeah.
I can
That's
remind
where you have
myself.
the whole pause,
Right,
connect, and be mindful.
right,
That's where the whole mindfulness practice comes in. It's not something that you just do without practicing. You
right.
have to allow yourself to practice that
Yeah,
because it is a practice,
yeah.
and
And
you
I
have
think
to take the pause.
we've talked before that the biggest, I guess, how do I want to say it? The biggest jump, the biggest like accomplishment that you do in the mindfulness is actually the moment you realize that your monkey mind is going and you stop it
Yeah.
and you say, hang on a second. Because as soon as you did that, then you can connect yourself and you can be mindful. Like, so it's that pausing, that, oh, wait a second, that's stopping that moment
Yeah.
that you're like, and honestly, because we have free will, if you choose to jump back in and hang out with that monkey mind again,
Yeah.
that's okay too. You're just going to continue to suffer until you
And
decide something different.
and I think it is important in this conversation right now to even acknowledge that yes, there might be people listening to this
Hmm.
who doesn't have people in their life that they can count on,
Right,
who that to them that is their reality because life choices that they have made in life have made it that they only have themselves. And if that's the situation that you're in, you can change that.
yeah,
And even that can change.
yeah.
So take the pause in that and look at it at that moment. If the universe is handing you your ass on a silver platter and
Hmm.
saying, here, look at this, you can look at it and go, I don't want that to be my life,
Right,
and make a change
right.
and choose different people to be in your life,
Yeah.
let go of people, choose
Yeah.
maybe a different lifestyle or make different choices.
Yeah.
As I remember saying to somebody this week, you have to make choices that are getting you to the place in your life that you want to be,
Right.
that are lined up with who you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see yourself making choices that might not be who you want to be, you can always change it.
Yeah.
That's the wonderful thing about free will.
Yeah.
You always get to change it. And, you can turn the car around and go a different way.
Yeah.
Or you can look back and say, that's not what I want.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be people in your physical presence either. Yeah, I know that not everybody loves a virtual space. Some people that is where they connect with people, and
Yeah.
I know I myself have found many people who I've never met in real life who have been such huge support and such huge help for a long time. Like probably since 2007, I think. I even before that, but definitely since then, I've had a lot of people in my life who helped me through some deep things that I went through that they did it completely just because they wanted to help.
Yeah.
And they just were there and they helped with their guidance and their understanding and their goal to help me live a happier life. And
Yeah.
like, yeah.
And as well, it's also a reminder that each one of us is just as important enough that the
Hmm.
universe will use any means possible
Yeah.
to get you the support that you need. And in the world that we live, in this technical age that we live,
Yeah.
your lifeline could be somebody hundreds of
Yeah.
thousands of miles away from you on
Hmm.
the other side of the country. You
Right.
know, somebody that you will never meet
Yeah.
can give you a lifeline. And that's the neat thing
Yeah.
about it, is that you are important enough that the universe will hand you your ass on a silver
Yeah.
platter.
Yeah. For your own good. That's the whole thing. That's the stuff about it, is it's not doing it to tell you you're bad or anything like that.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but that like when I get my ass handed to me, it's not a like uh like a punishment or like an accusal or anything. It's more in a way of like, do you see? Do you
Yeah.
see? Like
And like today, there was
yeah,
no judgment.
right,
There are times when, yes, your ass gets handed to you and there is judgment.
right.
And I find, for me personally, I don't learn as much from those
No,
times because I get into my defense mechanism.
right.
But at times like this for today, I could just look at it and say, oh, thanks, universe.
Yeah,
Thanks. Because everything happens for me, not to me.
right, right,
And that moment today was absolutely 100% for me.
right.
And if this conversation today is resonating with you, wherever you are in this world, it's 100% for you.
Yes,
And just know that that's what it is all about.
that's right.
Anything else to add, Bunny?
Well, I mean, not in this topic. The only things that I have to add would be on how people can find us and all of that. So, do you have anything else on this topic before I share how people can find us?
I think I would just say to people, be grateful when the universe hands you your ass
Yeah.
on a platter because it's doing it for your greatest and highest good.
Absolutely. It may not always be the easiest thing to be grateful when when something like that is happening, but yeah, it's definitely is true. I agree with you. So yeah, so first of all, if you've come this far in the podcast or video or whatever, like it, comment on it, share it, tell your friends. Oh, we hear these two amazing Canadian women from Niagara region in Canada that they talk about these amazing things in life and if you want to be a guest on our podcast, reach out to us. If you want to have us as a guest on your podcast, reach out to us. And where are you going to do that? You're going to go to either our Facebook page, you're going to go to our website, which is ataboveandbeyond.com, or you're going to hit us up on our email at ataboveandbeyond@gmail.com. That's it for me today.
Thanks so much. And I should say, lastly, to all of my friends out there, you don't have to call and remind me that you would have gone with me. I already know that.
Oh, you're gonna get calls. You're gonna get messages.
Have a
Bye
great
for
day,
now.
everybody. Love you. Bye.